Let me hear your answers. Think you better than pros? Think you don't know? Think you don't know? So you think you 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 know sports?
Welcome back, sports fans. This your boy Turtle with the Uneducated Network, and this is my show. So, you think you know sports? And this is episode number 7 of our trip around the NFL. We're gonna start right with it. The Dallas Cowboys was 13-3 last year. I think that really surprised a lot of people with Tony Romo going down so early. Not a lot of people gave them a shot with the quarterback that was, pretty much an afterthought, picked in the 4th round. And then he showed out. Dak Prescott ended up showing out. He put up 3,600 yards passing, 23 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So that's some pretty great numbers. And don't forget, they also had Ezekiel Elliott, who was a big help to them as well. They picked up him in the draft as well last year. Ezekiel Elliott had 1,600 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns. I mean, he contributed a lot. I mean, talk about a lot, man. Dez Bryant had 50 receptions for 796 yards and 8 touchdowns. So in limited time, he still was effective. Dez Bryant was still effective. I mean, the Cowboys have a pretty good team, man. For the future, you got a bunch of young guys. As long as you got young guys on the team that's willing to play, willing to compete with each other, that we know Dez got a lot of fire. Ezekiel Elliott got a lot of fire. Only thing is, those guys have been in the news as of lately, with some off-the-field antics and what have you. I wish them the best in that, and hopefully that don't end up hurting them in the long run. But nonetheless, the Cowboys had the 28th overall pick this year, and they got Taco. They got Taco Charlton, the defensive end. Everybody like Taco Charlton. With that pick later in the draft, that could be a good pick for them. That could turn out to be a pretty good pick. It looks like they went a little heavy on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, they hit a home run last year on offense, so let's load up the defense this year. They drafted back-to-back cornerbacks in the 2nd and 3rd round, so they know how to build a team. Hopefully, Dallas get back to their winning ways for some of my Dallas fans out there. I don't like them, but you do. So, moving on. The New York Giants were 11-5. Eli Manning put up 4,000 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, and 16 picks. Although they were a pretty dominant team, those 16 picks come back and hurt you sometimes, man. That could be he gotta pull back on those picks, man. Period. He gotta pull back on those picks. Stop throwing the ball away, Eli. God dang. But ODELL Beckham, LSU product, every time I'm gonna shout out one. But LSU product, ODELL Beckham put up 101 yards receiving, and he had receptions. 101 receptions, and he had 1,300 yards. He had 1,300 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns. I mean, the boy is the beast. And don't forget now, they brought Brandon Marshall over there too now. So now they're going to have ODELL, and you got to worry about Brandon Marshall is a possession receiver. He's the guy that's going to go get the ball. You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that. Brandon Marshall will end up paying off for them, I think. It remains to be seen, but I think Brandon Marshall ended up paying off for him. They had the 23rd pick. They got Evan Engram, tight end, which is a great tight end, back to A. You got Evan Engram. You got, they putting together a good team. And you got Evan Engram. Now you got ODELL. And now you got Brandon Marshall out there. Eli, a couple more years for Eli, man. I don't know. I don't know if he is the Drew Brees, Tom Brady guy that can play into them 38 plus. We'll see. But got a couple more years for him, man. So we'll see what they do. Look like they went a little balanced. They went a little balanced in the draft. So it's one of those things. It's a plug and play fix type of thing they're gonna go with, I suppose, with the new guys that they brought in. The Redskins were 8-7-1, and they franchise tag Kirk Cousins again, which I think is bullshit. and you heard it here first. I mean, if I'm him, I'm leaving on them. I will not come back to them after that. You know, y'all showing me that y'all don't have faith in me, pretty much. You know, to franchise me back-to-back years. Let's get a contract done. If they get a contract done, I'll go back on my word and say it's not. But they need to get a contract done, man. I mean, the man Kirk Cousins put up 4,900 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, and 12 picks. I mean, he's a great quarterback. I wouldn't say great just yet, but he's the next tier of quarterback. I mean, who else is there? You know, you got Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. It's the next tier of quarterbacks. You got Marcus Mariota, you got Andrew Luck. That's the next tier of quarterback. You know, you got to pay the man at the end of the day. You know, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, what's his name in Tampa Bay? God dang it, Jameis Winston. So, I mean, you got to pay that man, bro. That's how I feel about that. I mean, but they had 2,000-yard receivers. Deshaun Jackson had 56 receptions for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, you know, he just bombing. He going long all day long, you know, so that's why he got that. Pierre Garçon had 79 receptions for 1,041 yards and 3 touchdowns. I like Pierre. I like to say his name, Pierre Garçon, and make it, you know, feel a little. But they got in the draft, they got Jonathan Allen with the number 17 pick, who ended up falling in the draft. Actually, he fell to them, and he fell to a good team because the Washington Redskins always capable of having a good defense. You know, even when they had sorry teams back in the day, they always were capable of having a good defense. It looks like they went a little heavy on the offensive side of the ball. You could probably say both, balanced, but it looks like they went a little more on the offensive side of the ball. They got a running back. When I say that, I'm saying like their early picks, you know, who they went with in the early rounds, because that's really what makes the difference. You know, those 2 6-round picks and 2 7-round picks really don't make a difference sometimes. So don't mistake me for what I'm saying on that. But I think they went a little heavier on the defensive side of the ball this year, and we'll see what the Redskins look like, man. That's a tough division they in. The Eagles were 7-9. Carson Wentz had 3,700 yards passing, 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, back to 8. As they all giving up them interceptions in there, except if Romo was in there, it would have been, the numbers would have been all equal. But Dak Prescott was the only one with 4 interceptions. The rest of them all in double digits, all of them. So they all giving up that booty out there. But Carson Wentz was he could be on the next tier. He's not there yet. I think he's still got a year or 2 to grow. But Zach Ertz had 78 receptions for 816 yards and 4 touchdowns. So I like Zach Ertz. That's a pretty good tight end, man. That's a pretty good tight end. I wish, you know, we can steal him. I wish Kobe Fleener would come on to be him, you know. But Derek Barnett was the 14th pick in the draft who they got this year. I like Derek Barnett. I felt like he came off the board a few picks after the Saints selected Marshawn Lattimore, who we didn't think would be there. So you gotta figure that we probably would have went Derek Barnett had Lattimore not been there. So I really like him. I'll be keeping my eyes on Derek Barnett. I'll be keeping my eyes on him for sure. I see that they went a little heavier on the defensive side early in the draft, but more in the back of the draft they went offensive, and they also got LeGarrette Blount, which that could be big time for that young quarterback. You know, LeGarrette Blount could prove to be a big time addition for that young quarterback. You heard it here first. LeGarrette Blount going over 1,000 yards and he putting up 10 touchdowns or more. He playing mad this season. New England didn't want to re-sign him. He playing on a make it or break it deal this year. You heard it here first. Get LeGarrette Blount gonna ball out. The Eagles might not be good. I ain't saying that. But LeGarrette Blount gonna ball out though. You know, that's my take on that. And that's it for y'all. That's my trip to the NFC East, where the Cowboys reign supreme this season, last season, for a time we can all say we hope don't come again, but I'm okay with that, Cowboys fans. I'll let y'all get that one. That's y'all division, not mine. So, okay. So, moving on. Next episode, number 8, the final episode will be the AFC East, where the New England Patriots obviously reign supreme. So we'll dive into that one next. So, you think you know sports? With your boy Turtle. Holla at me.